The thing that really, like, more than like the road traffic act stuff, that annoys me more than anything is these private parking companies that didn't exist a few years ago, right? So now they've got, like, everywhere you go, you like trying to park somewhere, all of a sudden, right, these signs have come up, and this land, is like, if you park there, you're agreeing to a contract, right? If you stay here longer than an hour, it's going to cost you 100 quid because you agreed to the contract because we've stuck a sign up, right? I mean, it's insanity. I mean, but the thing is, and you can look at this, go through contract law, check in contract law, and who is allowed to actually agree to these contracts, right? So if you have a car, for instance, so you're not the keeper in the UK. It used to be written on the document, your logbook. In England, Wales, they call it a V5, and it states who is the keeper. So you're not longer the owner, you're just a keeper of the car. So you shouldn't have your legal fiction title on there. It's not your name, is it? It's your legal fiction title. So it should say something like trustee or Smithery Private Trust or Smithery Company Limited, right? Smith Limited, anything like that whatsoever. So when you're going to go into these private car parking sites now, and which is everywhere, even like you go, one guy is in an argument at the minute with McDonald's, right? Because the car park at McDonald's, if you park for more than an hour, you get this £100 charge because you've breached their contract. He was asking me to help him. I said, I'm not going to help you. You shouldn't be eating McDonald's. So but you'll have to remind me. I'll have to tell you something about that McDonald's as well after. But you go anywhere like that that you used to just go park. Now you've got like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and then you're going to get 100 quid, 2 minutes, like over whatever, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours that you're out, and they say it's a breach of contract. Well, if you've got your car and it's registered, the keeper or the owner, whatever country, if it's different, is the limited company, or is your trust, or it says trustee. Well, all of those are dead entities. Now, you may as well say, "Oh, so are you," but like the saying, and in their words, not mine, right? It's in their words, a natural person can make a contract. So a natural person can read that sign and decide to stay or not and form the contract. A limited company is a piece of paper. So a limited company cannot make that contract. A limited company cannot look at that sign and say, "Oh, well, I'm going to do that." So it's an inability to make a contract. Same as a trust, same as a trustee. I know it works, but I've done it. I've sent it off saying, "Who are you talking to?" Just says trustee on there. Who is it? Who's the trustee? They never ever come back because there's nothing that they can do. They can't enforce it in a court because they can't take that word to court. It doesn't exist, right? And they might say, "Oh, I can take a limited company," but they may do, but then you can prove easily in court that there was no contract. That limited company is incapable of having a mind, and a limited company hasn't got the mind to actually a meeting of the minds. You can't have a meeting of the minds. That means there's no contract. Forget the equal exchange. I mean, there's none of that, is there? But right, definitely not a meeting of the minds. And you need the pillars of contract law to actually have a contract. So bear that in mind. Any of them parkings, get your name. You shouldn't be owning anything, and you shouldn't have your name on a car, right? You should say trustee or limited or private trust, something along those lines, and then avoiding all of that grief and that hassle.